What's happening, everybody? Welcome to this episode of the Kangaroo Black Show. Well, I'll just be doing a recap of yesterday's conference games. So I'm just get right into it and try not to be too long. We all know what game I'll be doing first. The SEC championship game against with Georgia and Alabama. Alabama came out with the win, 41-24. That's the exact same score of the 2020 regular season game against Georgia, with Georgia and Alabama. So let me get into it. Like I said, Alabama got the win 41-24 with Bryce Young throwing for 421 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. He also ran for a touchdown. Alabama gained 115 yards on the ground. I think the two running backs, Brian Robinson and Trey Sanders, they ran for like 74, 76 yards, and Bryce Young had 40 on the ground. So, all in all, offense played perfectly. So, we threw the ball a lot, which I expected. So, hey, we all knew Georgia is hell bent on stopping the run. But like I said, we managed first team the whole season throughout 13 games to gain 100 yards on this Georgia defense, which, like I said, Bryce Young had 40. But still, we gained 115 yards rushing. Time of possession, Georgia had the ball 34 minutes and 13 seconds. Alabama had it 25 minutes and 47 seconds. And we had to punt 5 times. They only had to punt 4. So, and Georgia went for it on 4th down 4 times. They was 2 of 4. And 3rd down, Georgia was only 3 of 12. And we was 7 of 14. So, we did better on 3rd down, and then we didn't have to even try our 4th down. When we did get to a 4th down, and could have went for it, we was in our own territory, so it didn't make any sense to go for it. We was only like our own 35-yard line, 4th and 1, but I wouldn't have went for it either. But Georgia had they got 30 first downs, and we had 25. So, hey, we had a total of I think we had 500 and something yards total. Let me see, what is 421 and 115. So 516 yards, I think. 421, 115. Yeah, 516 yards total on this Georgia defense, and I think they was only allowing like 200 something yards per game. And you know, Bryce Young, he played lights out. Brian Robinson had 55 yards rushing on 16 carries, only 3.4 yards a carry. Like I say, Bryce Young, he had 40 yards on 3 carries, 13.3 yards a carry with a touchdown. And Trey Sanders had 6 carries for 21 yards, 3.5 yards a carry. Receiving, you know, Jameis Williams, he the man. 7 carries, 184 yards and 2 touchdowns. 26.3 yards a catch. Jalen Metchis, 6 catches, 97 yards, 1 touchdown, 16.2 yards a catch. But they were the only 2 factors in the passing game. Slade Bolden had 5 catches for 54 yards. Billingsley, 2 for 27. Holden, 2 for 21. Brian Robinson, 2 for 16. Latu, 1 for 13, and Jacobs had a 9-yard catch. Ja'Cory Brooks. We had 2 interceptions on defense. Now, the first interception went to DeMarco Hellams. I can understand that one. Stetson Bennett, he was under pressure from Will Anderson, and he had to get the ball out of there. And Hellams came up with the interception. So I think it was kind of like a 50-50 ball, but we've been saying you get pressure on Stetson Bennett, he will throw up a 50-50 ball. They so happened it came down. Helms was able to get it. So, second interception, he got baited into that one. I feel like he got enough experience not to go for that. But Jordan Battle baited him into that one and it wound up a pick six. But also in the first quarter, he should have had another pick six, Jordan Battle. He missed the catch. It was in his hands. He should have had that. So, but I would be lying if I didn't say our O-line surprised me. Because I didn't think our O-line was going to come out and play like that based on what we've seen throughout the season. The right side held up. And who would have thought it would hold up against this Georgia front seven like it did. Bryce Young was sacked 33 times throughout the season. He did not get sacked not one time yesterday. Georgia front was able to pressure him, but they wasn't able to get him on the ground. So hats off to our offensive line. Our defensive secondary, they stepped up also. Even though Stetson Bennett threw for over 300 yards, I was proud of our defense as a whole. Offensive line played great. So all in all, we played a complete game. The only thing I didn't like was when Pete Golden caused a safety blitz on 3rd and 15. I didn't like that. Stetson Bennett got out of the pocket, picked it up. That's about the only thing I didn't like. And then for his offensive, I didn't like we got a 21-point lead in the fourth quarter. We still snapping the ball with 25 or more seconds left on the damn play clock. I didn't like that. But we kept throwing the ball. We had two series. The two series only took a little over 2 minutes off the clock. And no, we should have been snapping the ball with under 5 seconds left on the clock. Even though it's still 12 and 13 minutes left in the game, each of those series could have took 2 minutes off the daggone clock. So we should have did that. But as far as Georgia, who would have thought that Georgia defense would have gave up that many yards? Even though they had a lot through the air and they got defensive backfield deficiencies. But I wouldn't have never thought they'd have gave up over 400 yards through the air. But Stetson Bennett, he had 340 yards. It was 29 to 48, 340 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I know Brock Bowers, he had him a touchdown. Brock Bowers a damn monster. I keep saying this shit. But 340 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Them 2 interceptions was costly because the first one came in the red zone. And the second was for a pick six. So they was costly, man. And then I thought Kirby, when he went for it on 4th and 9, I thought he should have kicked the field goal. But it is what it is. James Cook, 11 carries, 38 yards, 3.5 yards a carry. Kenny McIntosh, 4 carries, 32 yards, 8 yards a carry. Zamir White, 7 carries, 27 yards. Stetson Bennett had 11 yards on 7 carries, and Brock Bowers had 1 yard on 1 carry. But Brock Bowers had 10 catches, 139 yards, 13.9 yards a catch, 1 TD. George Pickens, 2 catches, 41 yards, 20.5 yards a carry. I thought y'all should have played George Pickens more. I don't know why y'all didn't, but I think y'all should have played him more and went to him more. So Jermaine Burton, 3 carries, 36 yards, 12 yards catch. Ladd McConkey, 2 catches, 35 yards, 17.5 yards a catch. Y'all didn't go to him much. I don't know if he was just straight covered or whatever, but I believe most of the time Josh Joe was on him. And like I say, you do a comeback route, you'll get it every time on Josh Joe. James Cook, 4 receptions, 28 yards, 7 yards a catch. Zamir White, 2 catches, 17 yards, 8.5 yards a catch. Darnell Washington only had 1 catch for 5 yards and a touchdown. That's a big guy. You got 6, 7 receivers. You got to use them. Throw the ball up and let them go get it. And Kearis Jackson, 1 catch for 4 yards. Lad McCollum had a touchdown. Bowers and Washington. Defense, Lewis Seen, he had 7 tackles, which was pretty damn good. Ringo, 4 solo tackles, 1 assist. William Poole, 4 tackles, 1 assist. Nicole Dean, 4 tackles, 1 assist. Jordan Davis had 4 solo tackles. I thought Jordan Davis got winded in that second quarter, man. He looked like he was tired. I know they showed him on one play. He looked like he took the play off, man. He was just tired, man. So, because he got a lot of weight to carry. Devontae Wyatt, 3 tackles, 3 solo tackles. You got Carter, Walker, Jackson, and Smith with 2 solo tackles. Everybody else had 1. So, but the thing that stood out to me, Georgia's front 7 couldn't get a sack, and they like throughout the season they'd have been the most dominant front 7 of anybody in college football. And like I said last night, that front 7 covered up all deficiencies that Georgia's defense had on the back end. And like I said earlier this morning, Stetson Bennett is not the quarterback to play from behind. All season he never had to do that. All season he never had to play in a close game. So, and like I said, once again, all them times y'all had them big leads in the third quarter, coming out at halftime, y'all should have been playing JT Daniels. Let him get some work with them receivers. So let him and the receivers get some cohesion. And then y'all could put him in and let him throw the ball. But Kirby Smart wouldn't let him do that. Every time he put him in, he let him hand it off. But that's enough about this game. Georgia, we know y'all will be back, but so we know y'all will be in the playoffs. Next up, Michigan and Iowa. Michigan totally dominated Iowa. Michigan 461 yards total, 250 passing, 211 rushing. Oh, I forgot to mention, Georgia usually gains over 200 yards rushing per game, but they only managed 106 yards yesterday rushing. So hats off to our defense. But anyway, Michigan had 211 rushing, 250 passing, 7.4 yards per play. Iowa only had 279 yards total, 175 passing, 104 rushing. So, but Michigan beat the brakes off them 42-3. McNamara, the quarterback, 169 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Donovan Edwards had 1 for 1, 1 pass. He threw 1 pass for 75 yards and a touchdown. Blake Kroon, 5 carries, 74 yards, a touchdown. Hassan Harrison, 17 carries, 56 yards, 2 touchdowns. So I guess I keyed in on Haskins, because Haskins can be a game changer. He can kill you with his legs. AJ Henning, 1 carry, 29 yards. Nobody else was a non-factor. So, but Edwards had 3 carries and for a touchdown. So yeah, nobody for Michigan went over 100 yards receiving. Blake Kroon had 5 receptions for 74 yards, 1 touchdown. That's rushing. But Roman Wilson had 2 carries, 82 yards, 2 catches for 82 yards and a touchdown, 41 yards a catch. Schoonmaker had 2 catches, 49 yards, 24.5 yards a catch. All had 2 catches, 43 yards. Haskins 3 catches, 22 yards. So nobody else went over 20 yards, so no need to get into all that. Defense, Hutchinson had 1 sack, and that's about it. No interception. They defense didn't get an interception, so but they got the job done. Iowa, Petrus, 137 yards, passing, no touchdown, no interception. Padilla 38 yards passing, no touchdown, 1 interception. But for his rushing, Williams got 56 yards on 12 carries. Tyler Goodson had 18 carries for 50 yards. They didn't get a touchdown at all. So ain't no use in even going over their stats about rushing and passing because they didn't score a touchdown. They got them easily 3 points. But Michigan will be in the playoff at number 1 or 2. We'll see. Like I said, they beat the brakes off out 42-3. Let's go to Houston and Cincinnati. Cincinnati got the job done 35-20 to assure that they'll be in the playoffs. Ritter had 190 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Jerome Ford, who is a beast. Us Alabama fans knew he was going to be a beast, but he transferred on us. 18 carries, 187 yards, 2 touchdowns, 10.5 yards a carry. He was their sole, basically, they sole rusher, really. Desmond Ritter, he had 7 carries for 19 yards, and Tucker 1 for 3. Montgomery 2 for 1 yard. So, Alec Price 2 yards, 2 receptions, 65 yards and a touchdown. Taylor Scott 1 reception, 25 yards and a touchdown. Leonard Taylor 1 reception, 8 yards and a touchdown. So, them were the only factors in the passing game. For defense, they got an interception. And they got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sacks yesterday. 7 sacks. So, well, 6.5 sacks, I'll put it that way. They got 6.5 sacks yesterday. So, Cincinnati, they played pretty damn good yesterday. Houston. No, I don't know who watch Houston football besides the Houston fans or the people who live in Houston, but I damn sure don't. But their quarterback Toon had 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. No player rushed for more than 39 yards. You had McCaskill had 13 rushes for 39 yards, 3 yards a carry. Henry, he had 7 carries, 23 yards, 3.3 yards a carry. That's about it. So, and then Dale had 152 yards on 9 receptions, a touchdown. Herschlow, 5 catches for 57 yards and a touchdown. Defensively, Houston, they got no sacks, no interceptions. So, but that's about it. Cincinnati gained a total of 400 yards, 190 yards passing, 210 rushing. Houston, 336 yards, total yards, 250 passing, 86 rushing. So, damn, Houston had the ball for over 40 minutes. Cincinnati only had the ball for 9 minutes and 41 seconds. 19 minutes and 41 seconds. Damn. There's a big discrepancy there. 22 first down for Houston to 14 for Cincinnati. 4th down, 2 or 3 for Houston. Total plays, Houston ran 73, Cincinnati 45. So, but oh well, Cincinnati got the job done. So they'll be in the playoffs. I really don't need to even talk about this damn ACC. I told y'all Pitt would beat them. They won 45-21. Pitt had 385 total yards to Wake Forest, 295. Passing, Pitt had 273 to Wake, 213. Rushing, Pitt had 112 to Wake's 82. For Pittsburgh, Pickett, 253 yards and 2 touchdowns. Israel Adebakanda, 9 receptions, 55 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kenny Pickett, that's rushing. Adebakanda had 9 carries for 55 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Pickett had 6 carries for 20 yards and a touchdown. Jade Warren, 3 receptions, 48 yards and a touchdowns. Jordan Addison had 8 receptions, 126 yards for Pitt. Hammond, 3 catches, 30 yards for a touchdown. But Pitt had three interceptions. Their defense, and they had 5 sacks. So their defense came ready to play. For Wake Forest, Hartman, 213 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. Damn. Oh well, it bees that way. Let me see, did I get that right for Pittsburgh? I didn't even mention the interception, but they had 4 interceptions and 1, 2, 3, and 5 sacks. Yeah, 4 interceptions and 5 sacks. So the defense came ready to play. But old boy had 4 interceptions. For his rushing, it took Hartman to score a touchdown. He had 11-yard carry for a touchdown. Or 11 carries and 1 touchdown. But who else? Turner had 6 carries, 34 yards. Bill Smith, 10 yards, 10 carries, 24 yards. That wasn't good. Cooley, 4 yards, 11 carries. That wasn't good. But polar low Wake Forest. They had us fooled too. Their defense, no interceptions, no sacks. But oh well. Pitt is the Big Ten champions. Alabama SEC champion. But it be that way. I don't even know the conference that Cincinnati won. Don't care. Because they ain't finna win no damn championship. And then we got Pittsburgh ACC champion, Michigan Big Ten. Alabama SEC champions. And then we got Oregon Pac-12 champions, and Baylor the Big Ten. The Big 12 champions. So there you go. This video is way too long, but I'm gonna go ahead and get off. I ain't even go over the Baylor damn shit, but Baylor, their quarterback had 180 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Rushing game was a non-factor. Smith had 17 carries for 63, no touchdowns. Ebner had 5 for 17, no touchdown. Receiving, Thornton had 6 for 71 and a touchdown. Sims had 4 for 34 and a touchdown. Estrada had 6 for 33 and a touchdown. For the defense, they got 1, 2, 3 interceptions. And they got only 1.5 sacks yesterday. So, and then Oklahoma State, Sanders quarterback, I went over this. Sanders had 257 yards, no touchdowns, 4 interceptions for Oklahoma State. Goddamn. Dominic Richardson, 7 carries, 2 yards, and a touchdown. He's the only one that had a touchdown. The leading rusher was Sanders with 33 yards. Nobody caught a touchdown for Oklahoma State. The leading receiver was Martin with 88 yards, Dan Bray with 52, Jackson with 39, Richardson 33, with no touchdowns. Far as the defense, they got 1, 2, 4. They got 4 sacks, no interceptions. But Oklahoma State had 333 total yards. Baylor had 242. Baylor 180 passing. Oklahoma State 263. Baylor 62 yards rushing. Oklahoma State 70. But the fact of the matter is, the game came down to the last play basically. So we thought I thought Baylor was going to blow them out the way they came out in the first half, but they didn't score a point in the second half. So that's just the way the game goes. But hats off to the Baylor Bears. But anyway, that's the end of this video. It's way too long, I understand, but roll tide.